What's up, guys? Today I'll be talking about the differences between the Darci and the Ikelos sniper, which comes from Escalation Protocol, and try to come to a conclusion of which one is better. So, as you see, here are the two weapons. I'm going to inspect them. The Darci's main perk is Target Acquired. Personal Assistant is active. This weapon has better target acquisition and more damage. Then the Ikelos sniper has Box Breathing, which basically does the same thing, but slightly differently. Then it also has triple tap. And comparing the stats of the two, Darci's better in almost every category except reload speed, and that's basically it. Now, keep in mind this entire video will be without the Darci catalyst, but once you get it, that maxes out the entire stability of the weapon. So let's talk about the differences in the scopes. Box Breather takes longer to proc, but you don't have to be aiming in on a target, and once you're aimed in, you can do whatever you want until you aim out, and that's when you lose the Box Breathing perk, as you see here. With the Darci, you have to be aimed in on a target for it to proc, then the second you leave the target, it goes away and comes back, but it is much faster, but less consistent because if you move your reticle off the enemy, you have to reset the perk every time compared to Box Breathing. As long as you aim down sights and don't unscope, it's there forever. Another thing about Box Breathing, to proc the perk, you have to be aimed in without shooting. If you shoot, it will not just proc midway through shooting. You have to be scoped in without shooting for it to proc. Then once it procs, you can do whatever you want and shoot. So now let's talk about the ammo differences. The Darci has a total of 23 shots and 7 in the mag that you can shoot before reloading, as you saw there. Now compared to the Ikelos sniper, it has 18 shots and 6 in the mag, but it has triple tap, which allows you to shoot 8 straight without reloading, so you can actually have a bigger mag size. But the mag size doesn't really matter because with Lunafaction boots in the game right now, you can shoot any gun in the game without reloading and shoot all 23 or all 18 shots without reloading. So the mag size and triple tap isn't as important as it could be, but it still is a factor. So in the situation that you do have to reload, let's compare the reload speeds. The Ikelos sniper is a 2.65, while the Darci is slightly longer at a 2.7. So there's really no difference there. Let's look at the stability now. This is on PC, and I'm not moving my mouse at all I'm doing is shooting. I'm going to shoot 6 shots and see how far it goes. It went slightly to the right, then very straight up. Now with the Darci, I'm going to do the same thing and only shoot 6 shots, that way it's a fair comparison. And the Darci now just goes mostly straight up and not too much to the side. Now keep in mind, this is without the masterwork on the Darci, so that would be even better once you get that. The last thing to compare is the damage. So the base damage of both snipers is going to be 760 as you see here. And both perks do the same buff, which you'll see is a 1303, which is a 71.5% increase, which is the highest single buff in the game. Another very important difference is that the Darci is limited to being only an arc, while the Ikelos sniper can be changed to void. So what's that mean? You can do tractor cannon with the Ikelos sniper and actually get the buff compared to the Darci, which is arc, which does not work. So that's another 50% buff, which if you watched my video yesterday, you would know that 50% buffs stacking with other buffs does not actually equal 50%, it's actually much more. So with Melting Point, now I'm going to hit 2931, as you see right there, which is now a 3.85875 times modifier. So they increasingly get exponentially bigger. And with all the modifiers you can physically get on the weapon, I hit 3811, which is a 5.016 modifier, which is very high. And with the Darci, if you use all the buffs you physically can, only hit 2541, which is a 3.344 modifier. So just the fact that it's void alone adds a 1.672x modifier higher on the Ikelos sniper that the Darci can never get. So to put this in a ballpark, I'm going to compare the Ikelos sniper to the Ikelos shotgun in terms of damage and DPS. As you saw, that's how long it takes to shoot the 18 sniper shots compared to the 21 of the shotgun. And if you take both damages with the same buffs on, that means the shotgun does 12,579 DPS on the target I shot at, compared to the sniper, which does 9,342 DPS. So the shotgun shooting faster still means it's the king of DPS, but in terms of pure damage output of the two weapons over time, they're actually very similar. So the Ikelos sniper and the Ikelos shotgun are actually very similar in DPS. One's just good at close range and one's good at far range, which is very nice. Another huge plus of the Ikelos sniper is that with the 71.5% increase of box breather, if you watched my video yesterday about how buffs work in this game, you would know that the 71.5% increase of box breather is actually a huge deal because that stacks with other buffs in the game and they get exponentially bigger. So it's not just a 71.5% buff. Once you have things like Tractor Cannon and Melting Point Rift all stacked on top of each other, it's actually much higher than that. And compared to the Darci, where it's only arc and you're missing out of that 50% from Tractor Cannon, that 50% is actually more like 200% in the long run once everything's stacked on top of each other. So, is the Darci good? Yes. Is the Ikelos sniper good? Yes. Which one is better? Yes. Seriously though, they are both very good weapons and they have their moments in different situations. For example, the Darci is probably better than the Ikelos sniper in situations where you're not tractor cannoning a boss. For example, Kalas. You can't tractor cannon him, so the extra 5 shots in the Darci means a lot. And also the stability means a lot also in that situation. So for that example, it'd be better. But any boss in the game that you're applying multiple buffs on, including Tractor Cannon, the Ikelos sniper gets much more damage because of the way how buffs stack in the game. That 50% turns into actually 150 to 200% actually in reality. So when it comes to damage, I think it's fair to say that Ikelos sniper is much better because you're using your power weapons on bosses, and I believe it's fair to assume when you're fighting a boss that you should be taking advantage of all the buffs you can apply to it. So for damage, I give the Ikelos sniper a checkmark. But for everything outside of damage, things like total ammo economy, mag size, consistency, how fast the perk procs, how easy it is to keep the perk going because of stability, like not missing your shots and whatnot, the Darci is better in almost all of those situations. But in my opinion, if I had to lean towards which one is better overall, I would give Ikelos sniper the win because its potential is not capped. Whereas the Darci is capped right now because it's not void, and if a weapon is simply not void right now, that is enough to say it's not the meta in PvE right now. That's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.